It's the most wonderful time of the year, when the leaves begin falling and Starbucks lovers go to get their pumpkin spice lattes. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hello Munch Kitties, and welcome to a new literary video. Today I present to you fall. One can watch horror movies, one can see the leaves fall, read creepy books, and get spooked out at night, and it's a thrill. I do that every month of the whole year, but like October is a vibe. It's a vibe. Chucky got canceled, the TV show. I have a bone to pick with Sci-Fi and USA. What is wrong with you? That show was my life. Don Mancini, make the movie that you said you were going to make if the show ever got canceled. I will be first in line to buy tickets. I'm mad. I love Chucky. The doll is the love of my life. Let's start with the fall books. The first one is Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. It's pronounced Mercedes. I'm just being weird. So, I think in a past video of mine I already talked what this is about. But if you haven't seen the video, I'll tell you what it's about. It's about this guy. His name is... This isn't a spoiler because it's literally in the back of the book. Brady Hartsfield. Years ago, he, along with his Mercedes, went to a job fair and decided to run people over and then, back up and run them over again. So he killed about 8 people and injured a bunch of them. So the cop that was put on his case never really figured it out. But then he decides to start sending letters, like threatening to do it again because the kid wants to rush again. I say kid because I'm pretty sure he's a teenager when it happened the first time and probably now an adult. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna do this again because I want adrenaline. Kind of like Bella jumping off to see Edward, pretty much that. So he's like, I'm gonna do it again. And the cop that was on his case is now an ex-cop who's like, okay, now I didn't catch him the first time. I can't let this happen again. I have to stop him. So yeah. This is part of a series, but like they say you can just read this one. And good, because I only have this one. The cover though. So yeah, this is horror. This is Stephen King. It's like perfect for October mostly, not November. Because this is a TBR for both October and November. Fall. So yeah. I actually really want to read this. While I film this video, we will also find the book that I will be starting fall with. Next book. Oh, Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I am so sorry if that's not how you pronounce it. This is a series of short stories. This book got stolen last year, which is also the same year I bought this. And I was really upset about it because I never got a chance to read it. And I just bought this again. I don't want it to get stolen again, so I'll probably read this year. Basically, they're short stories, and I think 4 people go into the coffee shop. It's magical. You time travel. And you get to see, I think, I'm not sure, people live lives. It's like, you're seeing the stories of a few people at the coffee shop, but you only get to watch them until the coffee gets cold. Once the coffee gets cold, you transport it back into your actual year. Does that make sense? I hope it did. I don't think I described that very well. Anyways, I really want to read it. Plus short stories, I feel like they're quicker because, so yeah, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Let's actually go with one on Kindle. Anatomy. This is a gothic love story, and I don't really remember the year it's set in. I don't have it physically because it's on my Kindle. But basically, there's this girl. She wants to, I think, be a doctor, and it's this specific year, 1800s, I believe it's in. And the college is like, no, you're a woman. You can't study with us. And she's like, excuse me? What is wrong with you? But I think she makes a deal with the dean of the college, and he's like, okay, if you can pass the exam, we'll let you enroll. And she meets this guy who works with dead bodies, and she's like, I need you to help me because I need to get into this school. And he's like, okay, sure. And so, yeah, but there's a serial killer, and people are threatening the guy, and it's just this whole thing. I really want to read it. I recently bought this book this year, and I really want to read it. So yeah, next book. Plus the word gothic is in it, so that's automatic fall. Okay. The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read the Inheritance Games earlier this year. Does it ever happen that your bra decides to like spike you randomly in your ribs? Because it happens to me most of the time. I read the Inheritance Games way back in March and April, and everybody was like, oh, you finally read it. Good. Why didn't you wait till fall? Y'all were giving me shit about reading it, the damn book, and then you guys were like, oh, you should have waited until fall. So I haven't read the 4th book because I waited for fall. So this is another option. This was on my yearly TBR. So yeah, but I do really want to read this because I did read the original trilogy earlier this year. Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Okay, stop it. Because why the hell? So I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan. Like I said, I bought this book 2 years ago. I have not even said what these books are about. So, this book is a continuation, I believe, of how the Inheritance Game trilogy ended. Avery decided to, spoiler alert, what does she do with the money? She gives it all away. Give some away to charity, honey, but maybe keep some for yourself. I don't know. Giving it all away like that is just too soon. Too soon to. But, you do you, girl. You don't follow Avery. You follow Grayson and Jameson, and I think that there's a new mystery. I'm not really sure what it's about. But yeah, I mean, I just really love the characters and I just really want to get back into this world. I explained nothing. I'm so sorry. Wicked. Okay, so I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan. That's why I call all of you Munchkitties. I have read the conspiracy theories, the behind the scenes that happened at the movie. I read The Wizard of Oz. I'm a huge fan. I read Dorothy Must Die, which is a retelling back in middle school. And this is where it gets, Oh, because we all know that I have been procrastinating this book until the release day of the movie. So yeah. But I recently watched a TikTok video of this girl who was like, you parents are going to buy your kids Wicked because Ariana Grande is on the cover now because of the movie. And y'all have no idea what this book is about. Like, no 11-year-old should read this. Excuse me? What? Dude, I thought this was like kids' fantasy. Like the prequel to The Wizard of Oz, Like, why the Wicked Witch of the West became wicked, right? Because she was friends with Glinda. We all heard popular and defying gravity. I mean, hello. I don't get it. So apparently this book is dark, and that just intrigues me more to read it. And I'm actually really excited to finally read this book and finally get well, that means I've had my hands on it for a while, but just like, read it. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, next book. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I really like her books. Now, The Naturals is this series. I only have the first book. It's on my Kindle. And basically you follow Cassie Hobbs, I believe is her name. She is gifted. And she gets put into this FBI group with a bunch of gifted kids to solve crimes. I think unsolved crimes. So yeah, there's a love triangle. Dean, Michael. I can very much say that I'm a Michael girly just because of his name. Tell me if Michael is not the sexiest name, like Mike. That is so sexy. So sexy. So yeah, she probably doesn't even end up with him. She's probably going to end up with Dean, the bland gray character. So yeah, The Naturals. I really want to get to it because I recently read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Oh my God. I read it because I want to start watching the show in October. So I finally read the first book. Stop it. So I feel like it's going to give the same vibes. Next book. Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is basically, my bra is just, this is a retelling. I'm not 100% sure what it's a retelling of. I'm pretty sure it's Rebecca, but I'm not 1,000% sure it's Rebecca. So yeah, I really want to read it. It basically follows this girl, Noemi. She is like a socialite in Mexico City. And her father is like, you must go to your cousin's house because she needs you or something. And she's like, okay, fine. So she goes there. Her cousin recently married this British man and they're creepy. The British guy is creepy and I think his father is there. So yeah, I read what this was about, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, the cousin is weird and her... I don't think she sees her cousin. I remember reading the first chapter a few years ago, And I don't think she sees her cousin at first. She only sees her cousin's husband, and the husband is like really weird. And she's like, okay, where's my cousin? But she also got a frantic letter from her cousin being like, oh my God, I need you here. So she's like, what's going on? And so there's like secrets, and I'm pretty sure ghosts. And she's just like, okay, this is wild. This is horrific, right? This would be my first Silvia Moreno Garcia book. And there is this TikToker who's like, oh my God, her books are amazing. So yeah, I really want to read it. Next book. Let's do these. This is the first one, Coffee Calamity. So, way back in 2021, I started this witch cozy mystery series called Two Broomsticks, Gas and Grill. I believe it's what it's called. It's a very long name. I read the first book, Simply Delicious, back in 2021, and I loved it. I never continued it because I started reading Penelope Douglas books. I only like Punk 57. It's one of my favorite books, but honestly, all the others are pretty fucking weird. So I couldn't read any more of that. So I stopped reading this cozy witch mystery series. Basically, it's about this girl named Stormy. She moves back into her hometown because she left to become a writer. She had a very successful novel, but now she's like, she has writer's block and she can't write it. She's like, oh my God, I'm poor. I need to move back. So she does. And her family all come from witches. I think she didn't know she came from witches at first, and then she's like, oh shit, like they always told her we're witches, and she's like, yeah, right. And then she's like, oh no, we are, that's great, awesome. She moves back and she kind of rekindles her like romance with her high school boyfriend Hunter Ray, who is like a police officer. I really love their love story because it's obviously not sexual at all, because it's cozy, but it's just very fun. Like, you can tell that she never like forgot him and she was still in love with him, because she was like in the first book, come with me, right before she moved away. At the very beginning of the book, she's like, come with me, and he's like, no, I'm gonna follow my father's footsteps and become a cop. And she's like, screw you, I'm gonna follow my dreams. And then she comes back and she's like, oh, I still love him. So it's kind of like, oh, because he has a girlfriend. Oh, I'll spoil this, they end up together. So I believe the second book follows them on their first date, and like someone dies outside the restaurant they're at or something like that. No, that's the third book. That's A Little Slice of Death, which I will also be reading. Little Slice of Death. So yeah, Caffeinated Calamity, I don't remember really what it's about, but it's the second book after Simply Delicious. And Little Slice of Death, they're at a restaurant and someone dies in the restaurant, like out front. And so they start, like solving what's going on. So yeah, then we have Follow the Crumbs. I have no idea what this one's about. Next book, To Kill a Mockingbird. I want to read a classic every year, and this is the classic I chose for this year, and I am really excited to read this. I really want to. I have been waiting for a long time to read it. So yeah, I know that a bunch of people are like, oh, this book, it sucks, but it won a Pulitzer Prize and it's highly praised. You read this in high school. I didn't read it in high school because my school was like, we're going to read the Iliad, the Odyssey, and we're going to read Shakespeare and Metamorphosis. We never read this, ever. Coffee break. Now, I must pick the book that I have to read this year. This, like, starting right now, my first book of October. Okay. I am in between. This is probably going to be read in November, as well as The Brothers Hawthorne and Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I'm probably not going to get around to reading all of these books in these 2 months, but, it would be nice if I could. Oh, I don't know if maybe to start with the cozy witch mysteries, maybe Mr. Mercedes. I had originally thought about starting with this. I'm not sure. Or Wicked. Oh, this is hard. Oh God. Let me see if I can like figure it out. So it is currently October 3rd. I am currently editing the fall TBR video. And it took me 2 days. Happy October 3rd, by the way. It took me 3 days, my computer, to pick a book. So I was like, okay, Caffeinated Calamity, not coffee, or Mexican Gothic. And then I was like, no, Wicked, Mr. Mercedes. None of the above. I ended up choosing The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I am in a mystery thriller mood after reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, so I will be reading the first book in the Naturals series. First book of October, yay!